Hello and welcome to Project CNN, where we expose the lies and the misrepresentations being put out by CNN. I am your host, Kit Richards. So let's pick up from where we left off the last time. So far, we've documented 6 lies and misrepresentation from CNN since we started. And we're now up to lie number 7, which is CNN falsely claims that President Trump has, quote, converted the government of the United States into a money-making operation for himself, for his business, and for his friends, end quote. I'm not making this up. Here is the clip taken from CNN Tonight with Don Lemon. The host is Laura Coates, sitting in for Don Lemon, and the congressman speaking is Democrat Jamie Raskin.
What we need to do is to put it together to tell a coherent narrative to the American people. And I think that's really about a president who has converted the government of the United States into a money-making operation for himself, for his business, for his family, and his friends. And it now pervades the entire executive branch of government.
So why is there a focus right now on the grand jury material?
So again, note that the moderator says nothing as Congressman Jamie Raskin went on a dishonest tirade and accused President Trump of turning the U.S. government into a money-making operations for himself, his business, his family, and his friends, with no evidence whatsoever. When the moderator doesn't push back against what the guest says, we have to assume that CNN agrees with that guest. But as we all know, the notion that President Trump has converted the government into a money-making operation is a complete and total lie. There is no evidence that President Trump, his business, his family, or his friends are profiting from him being president. As a matter of fact, President Trump has seen a drop in his net worth since he became president. And as we all know, the president is not taking a presidential salary and is instead donating his salary to various organizations. So we have lie number 7. CNN falsely claims that President Trump has, quote, converted the government of the United States into a money-making operation for himself, for his business, for his family, and his friends. It is a total and absolute lie. Our next clip comes from the same program, CNN Tonight with Don Lemon, and the same segment as before. In this clip, political commentator and staunch anti-Trumper Max Booth says that President Trump has, quote, trashed his office and trashed American democracy. Here is the clip.
But he has not won on the merits, and let's not lose sight of the merits. This is a president who has trashed his office, who has trashed American democracy, who has been the most dishonest and despicable person to occupy the office of the president, and no matter what happened this week, does not change that one iota.
So I'm not sure what Max Booth means when he says that President Trump has, quote, trashed his office. It's just stupid rhetoric that means nothing, and it's a big lie as well. And it's a bigger lie that the president has, quote, trashed American democracy. American democracy is in great shape, just like it was before Donald Trump became president. This is what CNN constantly does. They have guests who throw out outrageous claims and no one holds them accountable. So we have lie number 8. CNN falsely claims that President Trump has, quote, trashed his office and trashed American democracy. Our next clip comes from New Day with Allison Camerata and John Berman. In this clip, there are 2 lies. It's an interview with Chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, Jerry Nadler, and the moderator, John Berman, allows Nadler to lie twice without stopping him and asking him to clarify. In the first lie, Congressman Nadler says that, quote, Mueller told us specifically that President Trump broke the law. Here is the soundbite.
Let me just read you what the New York Times is reporting this morning. Chairman Nadler has gradually become convinced that his panel should proceed with impeachment hearings and do so as expeditiously as possible, though he has not stated so publicly. Is that true?
Well, I think that what has changed this week is a great change, and that is the testimony of Director Mueller. Director Mueller told us very specifically that the Russians attacked our election in 2016 with the aim of helping Donald Trump, that the Trump campaign welcomed that help, and that the president has been covering it up and engaged in multiple acts of obstruction of justice and breaking the law in order to try to cover that up.
Now, as we all know, Bob Mueller said no such thing. Bob Mueller never said that President Trump broke the law. We all watched Mueller's testimony before Congress, and he never said that. He never said that the president broke the law. So we have lie number 9. CNN falsely claims that Bob Mueller said that President Trump broke the law. Our next clip comes from the same interview a few minutes later. Jerry Nadler lied again and said that the Mueller report stated that there were, quote, criminal acts of obstruction of justice by President Trump. Here is the clip.
That broke the lie that the administration had been handing out, that the president and Attorney General Barr had been saying that the Mueller report totally exonerated the president, found no collusion, no obstruction. All of that is not true. There was considerable collusion with, as was brought out between the campaign and the Russians, 178 odd contacts. There was considerable obstruction of justice by the president personally, criminal acts of obstruction of justice, and an ongoing cover-up.
So again, that's not true. The Mueller report never said that there were criminal acts of obstruction of justice by President Trump. It's a flat-out lie. So we have lie number 10. CNN falsely claims that the Mueller report said that there were criminal acts of obstruction of justice by President Trump. So that's it for this segment. Please share our videos and subscribe to our channel. I am your host, Kit Richards, and thank you for watching.